Hey everyone, welcome to Therealityccess. Here we bring you the latest 90-day fiancé news and exclusive updates every day. If you enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel now. 90-day fiancé's Jenny considers moving back to the US without husband Sumit. It's India or me. Jenny Slaughton and Sumit Singh's relationship has once again reached a critical crossroads as the longtime 90-day fiancé happily ever after couple confronts a question that could redefine their future. Should they remain in India, or should they leave everything behind and start over in the United States, even if it means doing so separately? For years, viewers have watched Jenny and Sumit fight for their love against overwhelming odds. Their relationship has been shaped by secrecy, cultural conflict, generational expectations, emotional sacrifice, and relentless opposition from Sumit's family. Now, after finally marrying in secret and paying a heavy emotional price for that decision, Jenny is beginning to question whether staying in India is worth the constant pain. Jenny reaches her breaking point. During the most recent 90-day fiancé happily ever after Tell-All reunion episode, Jenny opened up about her growing exhaustion with the drama surrounding Sumit's family. Speaking candidly to fellow cast member Kim Menzies, Jenny admitted that she no longer believes life in India is healthy for either of them. At 63 years old, Jenny expressed a desire for peace, stability, and emotional safety, things she feels have been missing from her life for far too long. "It's just like, come, let's go to America, and let's just see how it is," Jenny told Kim, who is 52. Jenny explains that she wants Sumit to experience a different kind of family environment, one built on acceptance, love, and support, rather than constant conflict. According to Jenny, living in India has meant non-stop emotional stress. She describes an atmosphere filled with arguments, crying, yelling, and tension that never truly goes away. Over time, that emotional weight has become unbearable. She believes that moving to the United States could give Sumit a chance to see what it feels like to be surrounded by people who accept him and his marriage without conditions. Summit's family fallout. Sumit, now 33, has already paid a devastating price for choosing Jenny. After secretly marrying her against his parents' wishes, he was formally disowned by his family, a moment that deeply shook him and left lasting emotional scars. Despite the marriage being legal and real, Summit's parents refused to accept it. His father later delivered an ultimatum that made the situation painfully clear. Sumit could either leave Jenny and return to the family, or remain married and build a new life far away, potentially in America. This ultimatum placed Sumit in an impossible position. Choosing Jenny meant losing his parents. Choosing his parents meant ending his marriage. Sumit still hopes for the impossible. Despite everything, Sumit continues to believe that he can somehow have both, Jenny and his family. He has repeatedly expressed hope that his parents will eventually come around, even though their actions suggest otherwise. This belief has become one of the biggest sources of tension between them. While Jenny feels that his parents will never accept her, especially his mother, Sumit insists on staying in India, holding on to the idea that time will heal the wounds. He has even shocked Jenny by talking about wanting to raise children in India, despite the couple previously agreeing not to have kids. This revelation deeply unsettled Jenny and highlighted how differently they now see their future. The question that changed everything. During the Tell-All, Kim Menzies asked Jenny a question that cut straight to the heart of the matter. Would you come to the US without him? Jenny didn't answer immediately. Instead, she hesitated, clearly conflicted. "I don't know, maybe," she finally admitted. Jenny explains that she feels it may be time for her to return to America, even if Sumit isn't ready. She believes Sumit needs to see what life could be like elsewhere, away from the constant pressure of his family. At the same time, she acknowledges that the thought of leaving him behind is painful and uncertain. "It's either India or me." In a confessional interview later in the episode, Jenny revealed how serious the situation has become. She shared that Kim encouraged her to put her foot down and be strong, to finally demand change instead of waiting endlessly for things to improve. "So, it's either India or me," Jenny said. Even as she spoke those words, Jenny admitted she wasn't fully sure what she would do. The idea of leaving is something she is still processing, something that feels both terrifying and necessary. After years of sacrifice, Jenny is starting to ask herself how much more she is willing to endure. A relationship defined by resistance. From the very beginning, Sumit and Jenny's relationship has been defined by opposition, especially from Sumit's mother, who has consistently refused to accept her. Over the years, viewers have watched Sumit attempt reconciliation after reconciliation, only to be met with rejection. His mother has often refused to speak to him at all, even when he approached her with humility and remorse. Jenny has slowly come to terms with what she believes is the truth. No matter how much time passes, Sumit's mother may never accept her. Small signs of hope within the family. Despite the intense resistance from Sumit's parents, there have been small signs that not all hope is lost within Sumit's extended family. Sumit's brother, Amit, and Amit's wife appear to be more open-minded. In 2022, they were photographed attending a Christmas gathering hosted by Jenny and Sumit, along with several children from the family. The photos were shared on social media, showing the couple smiling and celebrating the holiday together with some of Sumit's relatives. "Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. See you next year, 2023, Jenny and Sumit captioned the post. Fans immediately reacted with surprise and optimism. "Wait, everyone was together? Summit's family?" One commenter wrote. "That's the Christmas miracle we all want," another added. Others expressed happiness that at least some members of Summit's family appear to be making an effort, while also hoping Jenny was able to spend time with her own family as well. America as a fresh start. For Jenny, the idea of moving back to the United States represents relief. In America, she has daughters, grandchildren, and a support system that doesn't come with ultimatums or conditions. She imagines a life where arguments aren't constant and where love doesn't feel like a battle. She believes Sumit could finally understand what it feels like to live without fear of judgment, without emotional manipulation, and without the pressure to choose between love and loyalty. The weight of the decision. Still, the decision is far from simple. Leaving India could mean losing the last remaining hope of reconciliation with Sumit. Staying could mean sacrificing her own emotional well-being. For Jenny, this isn't just about location, it's about survival, peace, and dignity. A turning point for the couple. Jenny and Sumit's story has always been about endurance. They have endured lies, distance, cultural backlash, legal battles, and family rejection. But endurance has a limit. This moment, this India or me realization, may be the most important turning point of their relationship. Whether they move to America together, stay in India, or face a painful separation, one thing is clear. Jenny is no longer willing to live indefinitely in emotional chaos. Final reflection. Jenny Slaughton's consideration of returning to the United States without Sumit is not a threat, it's a cry for peace. After years of fighting for love, she is finally asking whether love should keep hurting this much. As 90 Day Fiancé fans continue to watch their journey unfold, one truth remains undeniable. Whatever decision Jenny and Sumit make next will define the rest of their lives. 90 Day Fiancé's Jenny considers moving back to the U.S. without husband Sumit. It's India or me. Jenny Slaughton and Sumit Singh's love story has never followed a simple or predictable path. From the moment viewers were introduced to their relationship, it was clear that this was not a typical romance built on ease, comfort, or approval. Instead, their journey has been defined by secrecy, emotional upheaval, cultural resistance, and years of personal sacrifice, most of it carried quietly on Jenny's shoulders. Now, after years of fighting to keep their relationship alive, Jenny is standing at the edge of a life-altering decision, one that forces her to confront a painful truth she has tried to avoid for a long time. Love should not feel like constant survival. At 63 years old, Jenny is no longer asking for approval. She is asking for peace. A relationship that began in hope and risk. When Jenny first fell in love with Sumit, she believed deeply in the power of emotional connection. Age differences, cultural gaps, and geographic distance didn't scare her. She trusted that honesty, patience, and commitment would eventually lead to a shared future. Leaving the United States was not a casual decision. Jenny left behind her home, her family, her daughters, and her grandchildren. She left familiarity and security to move to a country where she had no social safety net of her own. Every part of her new life depended on Sumit. From the outside, it looked romantic. From the inside, it was isolating. Living in India placed Jenny under a microscope. Every action, every choice, every mistake felt magnified. She wasn't just adjusting to a new culture, she was navigating open hostility from the people who mattered most to Sumit. Still, she stayed. The emotional cost of being unwanted. From the beginning, Sumit's parents made it clear that Jenny was not welcome. The reasons were layered: her age, her nationality, societal expectations, but the message never changed. You do not belong here. For years, Jenny tried to remain hopeful. She believed that time would soften hearts, that once his parents saw her commitment, her love, and her willingness to adapt, they might eventually accept her. Instead, the resistance only grew stronger. Arguments became louder, emotions escalated, conversations turned into confrontations, and Jenny found herself living in a constant state of emotional alertness, never knowing when the next conflict would erupt. This environment slowly wore her down. The secret marriage that changed everything. When Jenny and Sumit finally married in secret, it should have been a moment of joy. Instead, it became the catalyst for total family collapse. Sumit's parents felt betrayed. The fallout was immediate and devastating. Sumit was disowned, cut off emotionally and symbolically from the family that had shaped his identity. For Jenny, this confirmed what she had feared all along. There would be no peaceful resolution, no gradual acceptance, no healing moment where everyone finally embraced their marriage. The line had been drawn. Sumit's refusal to let go. Despite being disowned, Sumit continues to cling to hope. He believes that one day his parents, especially his mother, will forgive him. He believes that if he stays in India, if he waits long enough, something will change. Jenny does not share that belief. She has watched the pattern repeat itself too many times. Apologies followed by rejection, silence followed by hostility, each attempt at reconciliation leaving deeper wounds than before. For Jenny, staying in India feels like waiting inside a storm that never passes. America as a symbol of relief. When Jenny speaks about moving to the United States, she is not talking about luxury or escape. She is talking about emotional survival. In America, she has family who love her without conditions, children and grandchildren who don't question her worth, a life where she doesn't have to defend her marriage daily. She wants Sumit to experience that difference. A home where love is not a negotiation, a family that doesn't issue ultimatums, a life that feels calm instead of combative. The tell-all confession. During the tell-all reunion, Jenny's conversation with Kim Menzies becomes a turning point. Kim encourages her to recognize her own value and stop shrinking herself to maintain peace. For the first time, Jenny openly acknowledges that staying in India may be costing her too much. Her words are measured, but the message is clear. She is tired. the question that forced the truth. When Kim asks whether Jenny would return to the US without Sumit, the room goes quiet. Jenny hesitates. I don't know, maybe. That hesitation is everything. It represents the moment Jenny allows herself to imagine a future where her needs matter just as much as her partner's. It's either India or me. In her confessional interview, Jenny finally draws the line she has avoided for years. It's either India or me. This is not manipulation, it is self-preservation. At 63, Jenny understands that time is no longer unlimited. She cannot spend the rest of her life waiting for acceptance that may never come. She still loves Sumit, but she is beginning to understand that love should not require endless suffering. Sumit's inner conflict, love versus identity. For Sumit Singh, the situation is not just about geography, it is about identity. Raised in a deeply traditional Indian household, family loyalty was not a choice, but an expectation ingrained into every stage of his life. Obedience, respect, and compliance were taught as non-negotiable values. Marrying outside those expectations, especially to an older American woman, placed him in direct opposition to everything he had been taught to honor. Even after marrying Jenny, Sumit has struggled to fully detach himself from the emotional grip of his parents. Being disowned did not erase his desire to be accepted. Instead, it intensified his internal conflict. On one hand, he chose Jenny publicly and legally. On the other, he continues to emotionally wait for his parents' forgiveness. This inner tug-of-war is exhausting, not just for him, but for Jenny as well. Jenny sees this clearly now. Every time Sumit says he wants to stay in India a little longer, she hears the unspoken truth. He is still choosing hope over her peace. Cultural pressure that never ends. Indian family culture is deeply rooted in generational hierarchy. Parents are not simply caregivers, they are authority figures whose approval carries lifelong weight. Defying them often results in guilt, shame, and social consequences that extend beyond the immediate family. Sumit's parents didn't just reject Jenny, they rejected the idea of their son choosing love over tradition. In their eyes, accepting Jenny would mean admitting defeat, admitting they no longer control the narrative of their family. Jenny has felt the consequences of this resistance every day. Simple moments, going out, hosting guests, celebrating holidays, carry emotional tension. There is always the awareness that she is viewed as an outsider, someone who disrupted the natural order. Over time, that feeling erodes self-worth. Jenny's silent emotional burnout. Jenny rarely raises her voice. She rarely demands. She has spent years adapting, compromising, and enduring. But silence does not mean strength without limits. Living in constant emotional instability has created a sense of hypervigilance. Jenny has described feeling like she must always be prepared for criticism, confrontation, or rejection. At her age, that level of stress is not just emotionally draining, it's physically exhausting. She is no longer willing to sacrifice her well-being to maintain an illusion of harmony. The fear of wasted time. One of Jenny's deepest fears is time itself. At 63, she understands that every year matters. She does not want to look back and realize she spent the last chapter of her life fighting battles that were never hers to fight. She is already sacrificed. Her home country, daily access to her children, time with her grandchildren, financial security, emotional safety. Now she is asking herself a painful but necessary question. How much more am I expected to give? The shock of the children conversation. When Sumit mentioned wanting children and wanting to raise them in India, it shook Jenny deeply. This wasn't just about differing opinions, it represented a fundamental disconnect in how they envision their future. They had already agreed not to have children. Revisiting that conversation felt like moving the goalpost, like another reminder that Sumit's vision of life remains anchored in India. For Jenny, this reinforced her growing realization they may no longer be walking toward the same future. Fans noticed the shift. Longtime 90 Day Fiancé viewers immediately noticed a change in Jenny's demeanor during the tell-all. She appeared calmer but more distant, less emotional, more resolved. Fans online began discussing how Jenny seemed emotionally done, not angry, not dramatic, but tired in a way that suggests acceptance rather than defeat. Many viewers expressed sympathy, pointing out how long Jenny has endured rejection without ever truly being embraced. Others criticized Sumit for continuing to delay decisive action while Jenny bears the emotional weight of waiting. Small glimmers of hope, but not enough. The Christmas gathering with Sumit's brother Amit and his wife Amit offered a rare moment of optimism. Seeing some family members interact warmly with Jenny showed that acceptance is possible, just not from the people whose approval Sumit values. For Jenny, these moments are bittersweet. They offer comfort, but also highlight the reality that the main source of pain, Sumit's parents, remains unchanged. Partial acceptance does not erase full rejection. America as emotional refuge, not escape. Jenny's desire to return to the United States is rooted in emotional refuge, not escape. She is not running away from Sumit. She is running toward stability. In America, Jenny can breathe. She can wake up without bracing herself for confrontation. She can enjoy time with her family without guilt. She can exist without feeling like a constant burden or problem. She wants Sumit to experience that version of life, where love does not come with punishment. The weight of an ultimatum. It's either India or me. This statement is not meant to control Sumit. It is Jenny finally setting a boundary. Boundaries are not threats. They are declarations of what someone can and cannot continue to accept. For years, Jenny's boundary was flexible. Now it is firm. A crossroads that cannot be avoided. Whether Sumit chooses to move to America, stay in India, or face the possibility of separation, the decision can no longer be postponed. Jenny has reached a point where waiting feels more painful than leaving. 90 Days Jenny considers moving back to U.S. without husband Sumit. It's India or me. Sumit has been vocal about his desire to stay in India, despite getting disowned by his parents after he secretly married Jenny. 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After star Jenny Slatin wants her husband Sumit Singh to move to America with her ASAP. The reality star revealed to Kim Menzies on Sunday's latest tell-all reunion episode that she is tired of the drama with his family and believes that they would be much happier living in the United States. It's just like, come, let's go to America and let's just see how it is, Jenny, 63, told Kim, 52. So he can experience a loving family instead of always fighting and everyone screaming and crying all the time. And it just gets to be too much after a while. Sumit, 33, was disowned by his family after he revealed he'd gone against their wishes and married Jenny in secret. And recently, Sumit's father was shown handing down an ultimatum: leave Jenny in order to be welcomed back into the family, or stay in his marriage and make a new life in America. 90 Day Fiancé honeymooners Jenny and Sumit vow to start a new life after being disowned. But Sumit has clung to hope he can have both Jenny and his family. While adamantly insisting they both stay in India, he's even said he wants to raise his children in his homeland. A huge surprise to Jenny since the pair had long ago agreed not to have kids. On Sunday's episode, Kim asked Jenny, "Would you come to the U.S. without him?" "I don't know, maybe. I think it's time for us to come and live in America. He needs to see that." Jenny explained that she was starting to see changes with other family members, but never his mom, and reiterated her belief that his parents are never going to accept me. Kim says I need to put my foot down and be strong, and I need to convince him to come back with me to America. So it's either India or me. Maybe, I don't know for sure yet. It's just kind of something I'm thinking about right now. The couple has faced an uphill battle throughout their relationship to gain his family's approval. Sumit's mother, in particular, has been opposed to the match, refusing to talk to her son on the show, even as he tried to make amends with his family. However, it seems some family members, like Sumit's brother, Amit, and his wife, Amit, are more willing to hear the couple out. The two were photographed alongside some children of the family at Sumit and Jenny's 2022 Christmas gathering. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. See you next year, 2023, Jenny and Sumit captioned the photo slide. Wait, everyone was together? Sumit's family? That's the Christmas miracle we all want. Another replied, glad to see some of Sumit's family coming around. Hopefully you were also able to see some of your family for the holidays, Jenny.